Ladies and gentlemen, this is a pretty big story. New York Times Stephen Bannon agrees to testify before January panel. Washington Post. Hold on. CNN, Steve Bannon says he's willing to testify before January committee. AP News, Trump ally Bannon now willing to testify. And The Atlantic, this is hilarious. Steve Bannon is a lit you-know-what in the mouth of democracy. What they really mean to say is that Steve Bannon or Trump or anyone they don't like is a detriment or an obstacle or harmful to the Democratic Party. The democracy has been redefined as Democratic Party. So Democrats have now utilized the Lincoln Project, Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld playbook of the early 2000s. Anything they don't like is an affront, is trying to undermine our pristine democracy. And so they're the ones with private servers and top secret intelligence on them running. I still can't believe how these people who care about, who allegedly care about national security are okay with Madam Secretary running private servers for 4 years outside of the United States government and transferring classified and top secret data from secure government locations onto those servers, which is exactly what took place. Nobody even disputes that, because it's impossible to have private servers that coincidentally also have top secret intelligence emanating from U.S. government networks. Somebody had to transfer that data. And hey, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I want a Clinton DeSantis 2024. I'm just saying, that is not only a criminal act, that is a serious, serious violation of national security. Then you have Hunter's emails and voicemails from Joe to Hunter, 150 suspicious banking transactions, financial transactions. I mean, that's a serious problem, where you have Joe forcing out a prosecutor, and it really doesn't matter what people say. You can put two and two together. You don't have to be a partisan Republican. You have Joe forcing out a prosecutor, and then we find out that the company the prosecutor was going to investigate asked Hunter for influence, how he can use his influence on the company's behalf. Do you have a handwritten note from Joe saying, I will force out a prosecutor signed Joe? No, you don't. You only have an email asking for a favor and then a favor being done, and hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, or $1 million plus every year in payment. But see, again, this is not as egregious as Trump knowing his supporters were armed, yet there's no evidence, because there wasn't armament or, this weaponry that was confiscated that day. This was the only attempt, and if you believe what they say, to overthrow, this is absurd, the United States government without any armament, by the way. Just it was, according to CNN, a peaceful yet fiery, or a peaceful demonstration that got out of hand. But anyway, there's no predicate crime. There's no actual crime Trump committed. He wasn't accused of a crime by the Attorney General of D.C. or the Mayor of D.C. or even Merrick Garland. He's never been indicted. You could have easily indicted Clinton for the top secret intelligence on private servers. Easily. Like anyone else would have, but James Comey covered everything up. That's why he said there was no intent. Of course, there's inherent into owning private servers the intent to deceive. Then there's Hunter with clear violations of the law. Like, Democrats don't read those emails, so they don't know. Obviously, ignorance is bliss if you're a Democrat and you haven't read Hunter's emails. Or you don't even care about the 150 shady and suspicious financial transactions. By the way, I'll have a live stream tonight at around 10 p.m. on this channel, so be here at 10 p.m. The live stream link will be below in the description section. So be here at 10 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Also, subscribe to the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel and the Bitcoin 10K Oil Prices 150 Recession channel. I have 3 channels, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at 200,000. We're actually almost at 198,000 subs on this channel. So please tell your friends. But Steve Bannon is, and subscribe right now. Steve Bannon is, he's going to testify, and actually, It's really hilarious. Trump waived executive privilege to allow Bannon to testify. The rebuttal is that, well, there was no executive privilege to waive because Bannon hadn't been in government for years. Then the next question is, okay, you just, as we used to say in the 80s, you moted yourself. You just got moted. You moted your own self. How? Because he hasn't been he wasn't in government for 2 years or so, or 3 years or 4 years. So why do you need him to testify? What's the point other than to torment anyone around Trump? You have Cassidy Hutchinson saying that Trump threw his dinner at the wall, and this is supposed to be Watergate. See, somebody should tell John Dean, who was actually paying, from what I understand, or from what I remember reading about Watergate, was actually paying the plumbers or people to commit, actually like part of the process of bribing or paying people to commit illegal acts. But somebody should tell John Dean that Watergate was a break-in. Somebody should tell Woodward and Bernstein, Watergate was a break-in. It was a criminal act, yes, that the president covered up, that the president was a part of. Those plumbers worked for Nixon. Okay, they broke into. Breaking and entering is a criminal act. Okay, Trump had a demonstration that got out of hand. And if you want to say it's incompetence on Trump's part, fine. That actually exonerates him. It wasn't an organized effort to undermine and overthrow democracy. Sometimes I watch like progressive channels or left-leaning channels or the $20 million venture capital people, and you hear these people. These are like, left-leaning, progressive. They're linked to like the 4 million sub, $20 million venture capital people. They're saying Trump tried to overthrow democracy. What? You mean like when Bernie Sanders was cheated? They don't even have a functioning primary. And it's like, look, I like Trump. I like DeSantis. I like Tulsi Gabbard. I like anyone. I honestly respect Jill Stein, even though I'm much more conservative now. But these people are not the status quo. I don't like the status quo, the system, a very corrupt system that Mitt Romney and Nancy Pelosi love, and AOC love, and the $20 million venture capital funded people love, even though they claim to be against, corruption and never-ending wars. It's like, you vote for all of that. Trump is the least corrupt by far. What happens with Democrats, with Hunter or Hillary or President Obama with an intervention that destroyed Libya, I mean, they get away with grandiose failures, serious debacles, and like tragedies where an entire region of the world is destabilized. Okay, Trump didn't destabilize an entire region of the world. Bush and President Obama helped do that, and Clinton and Kerry and Biden. And you look what's taking place now. Yeah, you would have had people being brought home. You would not have had the geopolitical nightmare in Europe because our foreign policy wouldn't have been dictated or run by what is good for an alliance in Europe. We run that alliance. That's a whole other story. Our foreign policy should be what's good for the United States of America. And what's good for the United States of America isn't always to ensure that another country suffers. Okay? So like President Obama said, the Cold War ended. The 80s want their foreign policy back. Somebody should remind Democrats that the 80s want their foreign policy back, which is what President Obama told Mitt Romney. So Steve Bannon it's hilarious. He's going to flip the script, turn the tables on Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Okay, these people, everyone knows that Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are siding with Democrats because they want a book deal. They want to be respected in D.C. or establishment or polite society. The thing is, oftentimes, in this day and age, you don't want to be, like, if you're an intelligent person with critical thinking skills and you don't adhere to groupthink and you don't care what people think of you and you're just going to gravitate towards what's logical and truthful and what's right versus what's wrong, you don't want to be accepted in polite society. Polite society nowadays in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and Australia, and other places, and mainly in Western Europe, gravitates towards groupthink, hysteria, media, acceptance by media, and peer pressure, and a coerced fabricated consensus on topics. Anyone who thinks outside of the mainstream has committed blasphemy or heresy and is excommunicated. And on a very small level, they tried to do that with me. When my writing in the Huffington Post, the Hill Salon, was being shared hundreds of thousands of times. And it didn't work. My writing did better. Mainly my YouTube channels did a lot better. And my voice grew exponentially, because you have to understand something, and always remember this. The people who suffer the most, who are people who care about the disdain by, like, you know, the disdain fostered by groupthink among morally superior, wonderful, apoplectic, oftentimes hysterical liberal Democrats. They're beautiful people, highly educated. But if you don't care what they think, and if you have enough disdain for those who just, you know, want to silence you, you can ignore all of that, and actually it won't affect you. The people who it affects, unfortunately, are people who truly care about what polite society thinks of them. And you should never care about what polite society thinks of you. Generally, you should generally never care. You don't want to take things overboard, but you should always think for yourself and not worry about, you know, the morally superior who want to disown you for voting for Trump. Those people have character flaws. So when you have, like, friends or family that, like, disowned you or, like, stabbed you in the back or whatever because of you voted for Trump, they're actually highlighting their own character flaws. It's not you. It's their problem. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. I'm going on different tangents. Give me your thoughts below. Steve Bannon's testifying. He's going to flip the script. It's going to be hilarious. And he'll probably ask questions of the panel, and then it'll be a whole, you know what show. Anyway, be here tonight. It's about 10:15 or so for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. To my new Patreons, thank you. If you want to support my work, ladies and gentlemen, my Patreon is below in the description and pinned comment. Thank you so very, very much. Be here for the live stream tonight. Thank you.